The thing with the Adobe architecture that we saw is that it's not just a question of how it looks from an aesthetic standpoint. It looks the way it looks because it was built that way out of necessity. So you have within that Adobe house that relationship between structure, the thing that supports the architecture, the construction methods, and the aesthetics, and therefore the design also. All of those are just one and the same.
Yeah.
They're not separate things. And that is, I think, what makes it beautiful, because there's a hardcore honesty to that type of architecture, whether it be Adobe or anything else. There's an honesty to it. And the challenge that we have in today's times is that, well, one, we're not going to use Adobe because it doesn't last long enough generally, and certainly in California you couldn't use it for seismic reasons, for earthquakes. But the problem that we have across the board is that the construction technology has advanced so much that we can do anything we want, right? So a house these days is typically built out of metal framing, concrete, or a lot of times wood studs, type 5, right? So that's the structure. And then on top of that structure, you layer on all this stuff. And what that means is that the construction methods and the structure itself, the structural design, actually has nothing to do with the aesthetic part of the design. And therefore, I think that in a lot of contemporary modern architecture and houses specifically, there's a lack of honesty and integrity to the architecture, because we don't know there's nothing guiding us, right? Like, all those things are separated, so we can do whatever we want, and it causes very strange and poor decisions to be made.